Today I'm going to teach you another exercise that's kind of the bread and butter for piano players because it shows up in our music a lot. So if we're practicing these exercises, it makes reading the music easier because our hands can already do it. This is what it looks and sounds like. I'm going to do that again and start on a different white key. Notice that, just like this one, I'm going to use only white keys for it. I also want you to notice that whenever I play all those notes together, my wrists are coming down, syncing, and then coming back up. I'm going to start this on another white key, but I want you to notice there is a black key I'm going to use. See if you can see what fingers in my right hand and in my left hand are being used to play that black key. If you answered 2 in the left hand and 4 in the right hand, you're correct. We're going to start with this one. This is called the F major 5-finger pattern because it uses all 5 fingers and it's in a pattern. We move in steps. To start this, your left hand 5 is going to be placed on bass F. Remember, that's the F below middle C. Once you place that, all of your other fingers are going to find white key neighbors, so each finger has its own white key. You're going to take your 2 after that and lower it a half step. So lower is going to the left. To this black key here, it's the top of the 3 black keys. And because we were having our 2 on B, and then we lowered it, this is called B flat, because it's like we took B and we flattened it a little bit. And this is how you play. You're going to play your finger 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back down, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to skip up to 3, skip up to 1, skip down to 3, skip down to 1, and then all of those fingers you use to skip, you're going to play together. Remember to use your wrist to sync, and then while you're holding, lift that wrist back up to where it should be. So again, that pattern goes steps up, steps down, skips up, skips down, and then all 3 of those notes together. Let's do that together, saying our finger numbers. When we play all of them together, we're just going to say together. 1, 2, going slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, together. You can rest your left hand in your lap. And let's do the same exercise in right hand. So because the hands are opposite, instead of starting with 5 on F, we're going to start with 1 on F. So place your 1 on the F right next to treble G, which is right above middle C. And then once you have that placed, all the other fingers get white key neighbors. Once you've done that, take your forefinger, which is on B, and lower it a half step to the black key, which is the top of the 3 black keys. And if we remember what that's called, we took B and lowered it, or we flattened it, it's B flat. If you're noticing that you're having to kind of stretch out your forefinger to reach that black key, here's what I want you to do. Take your whole hand and scoot it up a little bit so that your 4 can just easily find that black key and you can still keep curved fingers. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start on 1 and step up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then step down. 4, 3, and then we're going to skip 1, 3, 5, skip down 3, 1, and then we'll go together. Let's do that saying our fingers out loud. 1, 2, 3, say your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3. All right, now keep your right hand there. We're going to let left hand join again. See if you can find 5 on bass F, your 2 on that black key B flat, and get everybody on their neighbors. Now to do this together, since the hands are opposite, we can't really say finger numbers because we'd be saying 5-1, 4-2, and it's just a little bit of a mouthful, a little bit cumbersome. So what they're going to be doing the same is they're going to be playing the same notes at the same time because they're both starting at their lowest note, the one on the left, and moving up to their highest note, the one on the right. And so these are the same note names. We're going to start with, and say and play this as we kind of break this down, F, up to G, up to A, up to B flat, up to C, down to B flat, down to A, down to G, down to F. And now the skips are going to go skip to A, skip to C, skip back down to A, skip back down to F, and then together for a big chord at the end. Without the pausing, let's put that together. Saying our note names this time. This is really good reinforcement for you learning your keys on the piano. 1, 2, say your note names out loud. F, G, A, B flat, C, B flat, A, G, F, A, C, A, F. Together. And that's the F major 5-finger pattern, or pentascale. Let's learn a different pentascale. Let's start our hands, instead of starting on F, let's start them on C. So our left hand 5 is going to be on bass C, that's the C below middle C. And then all the other fingers are going to find their white key neighbors. And then right hand is going to do the same. 1 on middle C, and all the other fingers on their white key neighbors. And we're going to play and say the lowest note in each hand, the one on the left, which is C. We'll step up to D and say these along with me as we're going slow. Up to E, up to F, up to G. Now coming back down, we have to enact our short-term memory. Remember what we just said. F, down to E, down to D, down to C. Skip up to E, skip up to G, short-term memory powered on, skip down to E, skip down to C, and then all together. If you need to, you can do hands separate, but instead of saying your note names, you can say your finger numbers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 3, 1, 3, 5. Together. And then you could do the same thing in right hand, say your finger numbers instead. 1, 2, 3, and so on. But since we're warmed up on doing it hands together from F major, let's go ahead and start on our C and do this hands together, saying our note names, starting on C. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, skip, E, G, E, C. Together, lift that wrist back up. All right, now let's go down to G. So your left hand is going to start on low G, and when I say start, I mean it's putting its 5-finger on it. And low G is below middle C, below bass C. So it's 2 G's below middle C. Or yes. Your right hand is going to start 1 on the G right above it, just the octave above. It's the G below middle C. It's not a landmark, so it's just G. All right, and for this one, we're going to say our note names as we do this hands together. So we'll start on G. And again, when I say start, I mean left hand starting on 5, right hand starting on 1. We'll step up to A. We'll step up to B. And notice we found our white key neighbors, so we're able to do this. Up to C. Up to D. And remember, say these note names out loud as we go slow. Down to C. Down to B. Down to A. Down to G. Now we do our skips up to B. Up to D. Down to B. Down to G. And then with our wrists sinking all together, and then bring that wrist back up while you hold. With the skips, a little tip, when I was a kid and I had trouble learning my skips, I used to do this really slow before I'd actually play the exercise. I would go G, A, B, C, D. And that's how I eventually learned them, because I did that so much. I practiced that consistently, and then I could eventually just do the skips without thinking about it. But I started out by saying all the letters, whispering the ones that I don't need for the skip. All right, let's play and say our note names. Again, playing and saying these out loud is very helpful learning your keys on the piano. 1, 2, saying your note names. G, A, B, C, D, C, B, A, G. Skip. B, D, B, G. Together. All right, now let's see how exam ready we are by playing with a metronome. We were going this speed. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. So since we're warmed up on G, let's start with G with the metronome. 1. Oh, and when we play with metronome, we're not going to say anything because we have to listen and make sure we're with the click. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skips. Together. Okay, C was the one that we did more recently. So let's start on C. Place our white keys. 1, 2, stay with the click. Skips. Together. And then F was the one that we started with. And remember, left hand has 2 on B flat. Right hand has 4 on B flat. Everything else is a white key. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skips. Together. Now, the metronome that I tapped out, it tapped out at 59 beats per minute. So as you get more confident in these, you can always speed up your metronome until you get to wherever you cap out at. Another thing that you need to start paying attention to as you get more confident is your hand shape. Use your wrist so that your fingers can stay curved. Because remember, we don't play piano with the fingers, we play it with the arms and the wrist weight.